Hey guys, welcome back, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, I will be creating gorgeous decorative trays that are not only beautiful, but also incredibly simple to make. And no surprise, I will be using items from Dollar Tree. So let's jump right in and get started. For the first DIY, I will be making a couple round decorative trays. I'll be using a pack of these stove burners from the Dollar Tree. There's 2 in a pack with one larger than the other. I'm also going to be using these wood craft rings. I got 2 of them in different sizes. And I'll also be using a couple of this gold woven geometric wallpaper from Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to be lining the covers with the wallpaper, so I just trace them onto the back of the wallpaper. I start with a smaller one, I turn it over and trace it, and then I cut it out. I place it inside just to make sure it fits, and then I peel back a small section of the backing liner on one end to reveal the sticky bottom, and I just carefully peel off the rest of the backing paper while smoothing out the wallpaper. I do the same thing with the larger cover, trace on the back of the wallpaper, and then I cut it out. I peel back and fold down a small section of the black liner. I place it inside the burner and slowly remove the liner while smoothing out the decorative paper with a scraper. I'm going to be spray painting the rings with this gold metallic paint from Rust-Oleum. So what I'm going to do is line the inner edge of the cover with the rings. I start with the smaller cover and rings. To stick them in place, I'll be using a combo of super glue and hot glue. I got the super glue from Dollar Tree and it came in a pack of 3. Another good option is E6000, which works great too. So here's a tip you gotta keep in mind. You want to leave a tiny gap between the rings, about 1/8 of an inch. And when you are about 75% done placing the rings, you want to make sure the rest are spaced out evenly. Just take a moment to try it out and see how they look before you start gluing them down. Otherwise, if you just randomly place them, when you reach the last ring, it may not fit or there could be a noticeable gap. So once I'm done with the smaller tray, I work on the larger. Now you can totally just go with hot glue if you want. It does hold things together, but personally I'm not entirely confident in its strength on its own. But another tip, if you want an even stronger hold, something I wish I did, leave some of those areas that will be glued unpainted. I'm going to connect these rings together using this white cotton twine. So I cut out a strip and then I put a small dot of glue on one of the rings, and then I wrap the twine around the center where the rings are right next to each other to join them together. I wrap the twine about 3 times around and then I secure with some hot glue, and then I just cut out the extra twine. So I do that all around for both trays. And here are the trays all done. I love how they turned out. For the next DIY, I'm going to show you another way to use these covers to make a tray. And this is a quick and easy one. I'm going to be making a tiered tray. So for this one, you will need another pack of the burner covers. I'll also be using this taper candle holder. I bought several of these at a thrift store a while back, but if you don't have a tall one like this, you can head to the Dollar Tree and get a couple of their glass candle holders, and you just have to flip one over and place it on top of the other like so. Glue them together with some E6000 or any strong glue you prefer. I'm going to spray paint the candle holder gold with Rust-Oleum's metallic gold paint, but really any color will look amazing. Now these covers aren't that sturdy for placing heavy objects on them, so before I go ahead and glue the 3 pieces together, the covers and the candlestick, I wanted to quickly show you a quick option to add some strength. And that's by simply doubling up the covers. So get another pack and you'll need to glue the large covers together, making sure to glue the tops together. For a permanent hold, it's important to use a strong adhesive. Then you just glue the candle holder in the center and then glue the smaller covers on top. But for this one, it's going to be single layered. I'm going to be using E6000. You can combine with some hot glue for an instant hold while the other glue is curing, but just make sure not to mix the 2 together. So I apply some glue on the bottom of the candle holder and I flip it over and place that down right in the center of the larger cover. Then I add some glue on top of the candle holder and place the smaller cover on top of that, and that is it for this one. Super quick and simple. For the next DIY, I'll be using this adorable hanging sign from Dollar Tree. I love the shape on this one, and I thought it would make a perfect tray. I'm going to be painting this with this beautiful satin enamel paint from Decor in the shade Seaside. But before I do that, I'm going to apply some painter's tape along the border just to protect it because I will be staining that a different color. So I remove the string hanger and then I apply the tape all around. The frame part has a lot of curves, which I love, so to cover that up, I just apply some tape over a small section and then I crease it, which will be my guide to cut, and then I trim that part out. Using a small brush, I begin painting along the outer edge of the frame until I realize I forgot to cover up the holes. So I grabbed some spackle, I got this one at Dollar Tree, and I mix in a bit of the paint to match the frame. To prevent any spackle from seeping out of the bottom, I place a strip of tape on the back of the frame right over the holes. That way everything stays neat and tidy while the spackle dries. I let that dry a bit and then I continue painting. Now this sign has some engraving on it, which is so pretty, and although I'm going to be covering it up, as I was painting this, I thought it would have also been so nice if I had let that show through. Now this paint is quite thick and durable, you don't even have to seal it. I am only going to apply one coat. I could have done another layer to completely cover up the engraving, but I did like how you could still see the design underneath. It's quite faint, but I thought it added a beautiful element to this. For the border, I'm going to stain it with some antique wax mixed with some water. I don't want this to go on too dark, and so the water will thin out the antique wax and give it a lighter finish. So I apply that on, and I think this shade just goes perfect with the color. I'm going to add these wooden beads to the bottom of the tray. I got these on Amazon, and I stain it to match the border, and then I just turn the frame over and glue them on the corners. I let that dry and this adorable DIY is done. For the next project, I'll be using this charger plate from Dollar Tree and some jute cord. This one's from Walmart. It was quite inexpensive. I'm going to wrap the cord over the plate, and so to start it off, I'm going to wind it around a few times first, securing with some hot glue. Now you can totally glue it directly onto the plate if you prefer, but I personally like this method because it allows me to easily position it right in the center. I noticed that one side looked cleaner than the other without any visible dried hot glue, so that's the side I chose to face up, which also determined the direction in which I was going to wind the cord. I make sure to mark the center and then I glue the cord down. And then I just wind it around, adding some hot glue to secure it down. Now, let me tell you about this rope. It's not exactly a luxury item. It's more like a bargain find. It's cheap, and I do like crafting with it, but this rope isn't consistent throughout. Some parts are thicker, others are thinner, so to keep things in line, or in a circle in this case, I guide it as I glue it down, making sure it goes down in a nice circular pattern. But you just want to make sure you're completely covering the plate, not letting any of it peek through. As I get closer to the outer edge where it raises up, I just take my time with it. You are going to need several sticks of hot glue, so just make sure you have those on hand. So I just keep going until I get to the end and the plate is completely covered. I snip off the end and then I just conceal the end of the rope underneath so it's not seen. I do take a lighter and gently pass it over the plate. This helps singe off any excess fibers and gives it a clean and polished look. I do want to add some handles to this, so I just cut out some nautical rope from Dollar Tree and then I glue that on the sides. And we are done. I love how this one turned out. Super easy to make, but what a beautiful tray it turned out to be. Hey, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, especially if you stuck around till the very end. If you enjoyed it and would like to see more content like this, I'd be so grateful if you could give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks again. Bye!